Good morning, children. How are you all? Hope you all are doing well. Now, today is the third day of our online class. From Monday, we have started, and two videos I have sent, and you might be enjoying the online classes. I think so. Now, uh, let's go to our topic, that is our collection of data, first chapter. So, I hope you all have done your work, homework. I told you to rewind all the topics before coming to your next class. Okay, so have you all rewind all the topics? So then only you will understand what I am discussing, because in between I will include the previous topics also. So be in touch with the previous topics. It is not like that if once I will read and you have to forget all those things. It's not like that. You have to read 2-3 times, or you have to listen the videos 2-3 times. It's not like that. Once you have heard, then you have not to go through the videos or not to go through the textbook, all that thing. Okay. So let's start with our topic. That is what we have seen last. That is primary data, methods of primary collecting primary data. In that, three methods are there. That is direct inquiry, indirect inquiry, and method of questionnaire. Okay. Now we have completed first topic, that is direct inquiry. So direct inquiry definition we have done. Direct inquiry means what? The enumerator is directly visiting the person or the place from where he has to collect the information and collect all the information, directly visiting that person or a place. That is called a direct inquiry, and some examples also given. Okay. Then its advantages and disadvantages, where I have discussed advantages and disadvantages, 5 advantages and 3 disadvantages. All this you have to write. Okay. Now let's move to our next heading, that is indirect inquiry. So let's still see the meaning of indirect inquiry. Meaning is, in any of the following situation, the investigator contact an organization or a person capable of conducting inquiries and gets relevant information from such organization or a person. I repeat, the investigator contacts an organization. It is not that he is directly contacting a person or a place. The investigator, the enumerator is contacting a organization or a person capable of conducting inquiries and gets relevant information from such organization. Is called an indirect inquiry. When direct sources does not exist, direct sources does not exist, at that time we go for indirect inquiry. Second is when the field of direct inquiry is very large and there is a lack of time for personal contact with the respondent. At that time, we go for indirect inquiry. Third is when the information to be obtained is complex. Okay, when the cost associated with the with the direct inquiry is unbearable, means it is not, the cost is not beared by the person, or it is more expensive, right? Directly visiting if the area is very vast, and for visiting that person to person, if visiting one person to person, it may be more time consuming, more expensive. So at that time the person will go for indirect inquiry, right? So next paragraph is, okay. Now then in third point, one word is there, complex. When the information to be obtained is complex. Complex means what? Complicated. Okay. When the information to be obtained in a very complicated way, so we'll go for indirect inquiry. Then see the next paragraph. The method of collecting information in such a way is called indirect inquiry. In this method, the information is obtained with the help of the third party instead of the enumerator himself. Means the enumerator is directly not visiting and he is collecting the information from the third person. For example, in the earlier illustration, a person interested in getting the information about the conditions of a farmers of Sanar Taluka approaches the Talati of Sanar Taluka. Means he is not directly visiting the farmers. Instead of that, he is meeting that Talati of a Sanar Taluka, who has the entire information of all the farmers in that taluka. and gets information from him instead of personally visiting each and every farmer, right? Then a person interested in informations of the educational status of the workers of an industry having 2000 workers approaches the manager of the industry who has complete record. Means instead of directly visiting the or directly meeting that workers, he is going to the manager who already have the record of all the workers, okay, who has complete records of the workers of the industry instead of making a personal visit to each worker. Similarly, advocate can get information regarding murders, theft from the police station when needed. So these are all the examples of indirect inquiry. So you can write the definition and any one example. Okay. Now, thus the method of indirect inquiry is quite popular in practice. However, the reliability of the information obtained by this method depends on the ability, honesty, and experiences of the numerators who collect the information. Right? Means ability, honesty, and experience means what? Ability means if he is able to do that work or not, capable or not. Honesty means he is honestly doing his work or not. I told you before also that if a person is not directly visiting, means if I appoint one person, or suppose if I appoint one monitor and I will ask him to go to another class and go to that suppose 11th standard monitor, I will ask 11th standard monitor to go to 10th standard and 10A, 10 or B and collect all the informations regarding the students. Suppose the number of boys and girls in 10th standard, or if the ages of the students, or if the percentage of the students. So he will not go there. Instead of that, he will come and tell me that miss, in that class this much boys and this much girls are there. Means he is not honest in his work. Okay. So this is called the honesty and experiences. If a person is a well experienced person who is going who's collecting the information, then the work will be easily done. Okay. Then the experience of the enumerators who collect the information. So main three thing is the ability of a person, honesty of a person, and the experience of a person, which if these three are not proper, then this will affect the information collected. Okay. Then next page, that is page number 6. Here it is given the advantages and disadvantages or the limitation of indirect inquiry. So first advantages is this method is most suitable when the field of inquiry is very wide. Very wide. When a respondent associated with the inquiry is not willing to give information, this is the only useful method to collect the information. It involves less cost, less time, and less energy as compared to the direct inquiry. This method is very much useful for various departments of government to collect various types of information. Means in that office work, all these informations are done. Direct inquiries are done. Inquiries are done in all the places, almost in all the places. Then at disadvantages, when individual or an organization associated with the task of providing information have any prejudice or a biased attitude, the information becomes less reliable. Prejudice or biased means what? Prejudice and biased means he is not sincere, we can say. He is not doing justice to his work, we can say. Okay. Then second is the method becomes useless when the third party from whom the information is obtained is dishonest, inefficient, or unable to provide correct information. Okay. Then the informations collected by such dishonest person, that informations are useless. That is of no use. We can't use that information. We can't trust on the person like that person who is dishonest. Right. Next, method of questionnaire. Method of questionnaire means what? The word itself says that to ask a question. Method of questionnaire means to ask a question. Okay. Like in exams we are getting a question, set of questions. In a paper we are getting all the questions. That is also a method of questionnaire. All the questions are asked and we have to give the answers related to those questions. That is also a method of question. Right. Now see the paragraph. A list of logically arranged questions relevant to the object of the study is made. The space between the questions is provided for the answers. A list of questions prepared in such a way is called a questionnaire. The method of obtaining information using such type of questionnaire is called a method of questionnaire. One best example I can give method of questionnaire is just now only you have filled that the form of your 11th standard. That is also a method of questionnaire. It is mentioned that a list of logically arranged questions relevant to the object of the study is made. Object of the study means तुम्हें किस चीज के बारे में जानना है. Means now you have filled that form, na school form, that commerce for entering the 11th standard you have filled one form. In that one, we want the information of the students, full detail of students. So we have made one questionnaire, that logically arranged questionnaire, and that is also relevant to the object of the study. Means what is the main motive of our setting this question is to collect the information of a student. So we have said that like name of a student, name of his father, mother, his address, mobile number, email ID, and all these informations were that mentioned. All those questions were arranged. So the space between the questions is provided for the answers, and after each and every question, one line was left to fill that form. Okay. The questions in the questionnaire should be short and simple so that respondent can understand the question and easily answer them. This method is means it should be in a simple language. Means घुमा फिरा के बड़े बड़े English hard words नहीं use करने, एकदम simple और अच्छे languages use. English में simple words use करने. Okay. Then next, the question in the questionnaire should be short and simple so that the respondent can understand the questions and easily answer them. This method is quite useful when the field or area from which the information is to be collected is very wide. Since there is a considerable saving of time and cost in this method, it is the most economical method of inquiry. Questionnaire may be used in direct inquiry as well as in indirect inquiry. So it is not necessary that the method of questionnaire is used in a direct inquiry only. It is indirect inquiry only. It can be used in direct inquiry also. Right? Now next paragraph is there are two ways of collecting informations by questions, that is by post and by enumerators. By post means I am framing one question and I will post writing your name and address on the cover, and I will put that question paper on inside that cover, and I will post to you. Then you will receive that questions, and you will answer all the questions, and you will again repost me. That is called by post. And by enumerators means the person directly visit the place. Means nowadays many persons are coming na into our house. बुखार है कि नहीं, कोई बीमारी है कि नहीं, कितने person है ना, ऐसा सब पूछने आते हैं ना. That is also a type of questionnaire only. The thing is that they are asking the question and they are only writing, but that logically arranged questions are the form is along with them only. For one house, one form is there, right? So above the on that house on that paper they will write our room number, flat number, and everything, and full detail of ours he will enter there, right? Then this is called by enumerator. Means a person directly coming to our place, and he can hand over the question set, or else he can ask the question and he himself will fill it, like what nowadays going on. Okay. Then before discussing the above two methods, in the next section we shall discuss the points which should be kept in mind after drafting in ideal questionnaire. Now next is characteristics of an ideal questionnaire. So next topic we will go. So the next is characteristics of ideal questionnaire. You all are looking into your textbook only, na? So look into your textbook. Don't look here and there while we are discussing, or while your video is on, but you all are looking here and there. It's more better you look into it. If 20-25 minutes you have to sit, na? चलेगा उतना देर तो स्पेंड कर ही सकता है कोई भी, है ना. सब वीडियो एक साथ नहीं सुनना है ना. थोड़ा थोड़ा करके सुनो कम से कम. Okay. Characteristics of an ideal questionnaire. The success The success of collecting data depends mainly on the design of questionnaire. A well-designed questionnaire is known as an ideal questionnaire. I repeat, the success of collecting data depends mainly on the design of questionnaire. Design of questionnaire means question paper पे design नहीं बनाना है. Design of questionnaire means the way of framing the question. Okay, the way of arranging the questions, that is called the design of questionnaire. Now, a well-designed questionnaire is known as an ideal questionnaire. The following points should be kept in mind while drafting an ideal questionnaire. For preparing an ideal questionnaire, what should be kept in mind? That we will see. See, 4 points were given. So we'll see with first point that every questionnaire must have a covering letter or an appropriate title so that the reader gets clear idea about the purpose of the study. Means whenever you will start writing start entering the answers of the questions in below that, above that the thing should be mentioned. Means the main motive of that collecting this information should be mentioned. Means this is for what purpose. That heading should be written in the bold letter so that the person can understand for what purpose they are collecting this information. Okay, then the number of questions should be minimum as possible. It is not like that you have to give 10-50 questions. Means the person is, means if uh, the person is not going anywhere also ना, then also he is in a hurry. हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, जल्दी करो भैया, बहुत काम है. काम किसी को नहीं होता है, लेकिन कैसे भी उसको भगाना होता है ना. So whenever the person comes that with a question, that question should contain minimum 5 or 7 questions or 10 questions. तो जल्दी जल्दी एंटर करके दे देना है ना. नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चन, इतना सारा लंबा सा एक लिस्ट लेकर आ जाओगे क्वेश्चंस का, तो कोई भी उसको देखेगा भी नहीं, क्या है वो भी नहीं पूछेगा. तो नहीं, हमको नहीं करना है, बस हमको कुछ इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं देना है, हमको फॉर्म फिल नहीं करना है, बस ऐसे हम बोल देंगे, है ना. So the number of questions should be as minimum as possible. The fewer number of questions have greater chance of getting better response from the respondent. बड़े बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस होंगे तो मैं भी नहीं फिल करूंगी, है ना. कम क्वेश्चंस होंगे तो खुशी खुशी कोई भी फिल कर देगा. Long questions discourage the respondent to provide accurate answer, particularly towards the end of questionnaire. अगर बड़े क्वेश्चंस तो एग्जाम में होते तभी भी तुम लोग नहीं लिखते. ये तो फिर ऐसे ही सर्वे के लिए होता तो फिर बात अलग है. बड़े क्वेश्चन तो एग्जाम में भी होगा तो भी बोर्ड का एग्जाम में भी छोड़ के आ जाते, तो फिर ये क्या है ना. There is no specific rule for exact number of questions. Specific rules are not there. Okay, 10 only you have 10 questions only you have to ask, or less than 20, or only 5 questions. ऐसा कुछ rule नहीं है. But we are thinking logically. If we are logically thinking ना, practically thinking ना, then it is said that if less number of questions, then we will be getting a better response from the respondent. Okay. There is no specific rule for the exact number of questions. If the number of questions is large, say 25 or more, it is advisable to divide the questionnaire into various parts to ensure clarity of questions, right? And the third is the number of questions in the questionnaire should be consistent with the purpose of the inquiry. Consistent means what? Search that. हर चीज का मीनिंग बोलना होता है क्या? The number of questions in the questionnaire should be consistent with the purpose of the inquiry. क्या है हिंदी वर्ड? उतने में ही रहना चाहिए, मतलब क्या बोलते हैं. Consistent means what? Consistent means वो exactly that word only. The number of questions in the questionnaire should be consistent with the purpose of inquiry. Exactly what is your purpose? Directly that word should be mentioned. अब एज पूछना है तो उसे घुमा फिरा के नहीं, बर्थ हुआ था तो वो टाइम पे ये हुआ था, ये हुआ था, ऐसा डायरेक्टली ईयर बता दो, नहीं तो तुम्हारा एज बता दो, ऐसा. ओके, ऐसे कोई हिंट वगैरह नहीं देना होता. समझ में आया? Questionnaire should be simple, short and understandable. They should not be ambiguous and dual in meaning. For example, if the question is, are you educated? The respondent cannot understand the meaning of educated. Does it mean the education up to the secondary or the higher secondary or graduate? Instead of the question should be, what is your education level? समझ में आया? घुमा फिरा के नाक नहीं पकड़, डायरेक्टली पॉइंट पे आके बात करो, है ना? Are you educated? Educated, if the person is asking are you educated, then that person will be thinking educated means what level? 12th pass, BCom, or graduate, postgraduate, or what? Like this, the person, हम भी होंगे तो वही सोचेंगे ना, है ना? So directly you have to ask what is your education level, right? समझ में आ रहा तो होगा ना? Now A, in that A, up to primary, up to secondary, up to higher secondary, up to graduate, or uneducated. So these are the questions. Okay. Now fifth one, the arrangement of the questions should be logical. The order of the question should be from general to specific, hard, easy to hard. For example, what is your opinion about smartphone? Do you use smartphone? This is the improper arrangement of questions. The correct order is followed by question A. Okay. Then the sixth point is question of sensitive nature or personal life should be avoided. Means that we can't ask the question related to our personal life. For example, question related to the marital status, other sources of income, respondent, etc. If such questions are necessary in the survey, an assurance should be given to the respondent that the information provided by him or her will be kept confidential and will not be used for any other purpose. Right? Easy tha? Then seventh is answer to the questions should be free from any calculations. Answers to the questions should be free from any calculations. कैलसी लेके नहीं बैठना होता है हमको, हमारे घर पे सर्वे के लिए कोई आता है ना तो कैलसी लेके नहीं बैठना होता है. For example, avoid the questions like what is the average income of the earning of the member of your family. Then next question, the questions having answers yes or no or a multiple alternative should be asked. Always yes or no में tick करना है बस. But the questions whose answer do not have specific options should be avoided. For example, what is your opinion about semester system against the yearly system in the education? Since there are a lot of variations in the answers, like strongly in favor, neutral, against, strongly against. They are the difficult to tabulate or interpret. Hence, it is necessary there must be a minimum number of such questions in the questionnaire. Now, let us see an example of questionnaire. ये तो easy है ना? Format of an questionnaire. Questionnaire कैसा दिखता है? ऐसे ही ऐसा है ना? यही फॉर्म हमने फिल किया था. Name of a student, place of birth, and district, ये वो school है ना? This is called the format of your questionnaire. Specimen of a questionnaire. Specimen means format है ना? Accounts में आएगा specimen, right? समझ में आया? अब हमारा नेक्स्ट टॉपिक है क्वेश्चनरी बाय पोस्ट. अगर अभी क्लास होता तुम लोग अभी बोलते कि बस टीचर बहुत हो गया है ना, लेकिन फिर भी ब्रेक ले लेके मैं बोल रही हूँ बिटवीन आई एम डिस्कसिंग समथिंग some other things, right? Not continuously I am not discussing about the topic. Okay. Now questionary by post. Let's start with the meaning. After preparing an ideal questionnaire, it is dispatched by post to respondents from whom the information is to be collected along with a request to complete and return it in a given period of time. Right? Questionnaire by post. Okay. Time period is given. Means if you will receive the question by post today and after 1 year you will give it back to me, then it is of no use. Means उसका time period नहीं रखा ना तो कभी भी मिलेगा मुझे वापस. So after preparing an ideal questionnaire, it is dispatched by post to the respondent from whom the information is to be collected along with the request to complete and return it in a given period of time. Therefore, it is necessary to send a blank envelope along with the questionnaire to all the respondents bearing the address of investigator and a proper postal stamp. Since the answers to the questions are to be given by the respondents themselves, it is essential that the questions in questionnaire are clear, short, simple, relevant, and self-explanatory. Nowadays, questionnaire may be sent through computer, that is email, and mobile phones also. Right? Now the advantages and the disadvantages. So this much only we will do today. See, I am discussing or full topics. So many topics in a day I am not covering because it will be irritating for you also. So Mrs. completing so many topics. है ना? So I am discussing a few topics only in a day, but the request is to please you have to please learn or that revise all the topics one or two times. Now you are having so much time at home, है ना? पूरा दिन टीवी पूरा दिन मोबाइल नहीं देखना होता है, थोड़ा सा टाइम पढ़ाई के लिए भी निकालो. ओके, मॉर्निंग 8 to 10 बाप रे बहुत पढ़ लिया, ऐसा नहीं है. मॉर्निंग इन मॉर्निंग ऑल्सो यू हैव टू लर्न, evening also you have to learn. You are in 11th standard, this is the base of your 12th standard, right? The new extreme hai, commerce stream, subjects are different, everything is new for you. So you have to give time to yourself to understand the subject, to understand the topic. Okay, so spend time for self study. Okay, we can do this much only, but you have to do for yourself, you have to learn for yourself. Nobody is going to again and again, nobody is going to come to your house and sit there and start teaching. Okay, so please cooperate, please do whatever we are saying, we are discussing in the video. Okay, please be cooperative. Okay students, so today this much only we will see, and in the next lecture most probably I am completing this chapter, and at that time I will send the, if not possible in video, then I will send in group the questions, I will send in group. That much only you have to complete, the important questions only you have to write in the notebook. Okay, so for this much only, for today this much only we will see. The next video we will start from disadvantages and disadvantages. Okay, bye for now.